All right, it says we're live. Today's video, how as a listing agent and a salesperson, don't forget you're always salespeople. I say that all the time and I want to remind you, your main job is a salesperson and it's one of the most important jobs in the whole country. So today's video, how to be a better closer by ensuring that the seller side of the repair walkthrough and the final walkthrough are completed successfully without hiccup. If you're looking for tips on how to be a better real estate agent, a better salesperson, and a better closer, this is the channel for you. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. My name is Josh Barnett. I'm with eXp Realty. I train and mentor agents to help them be better. I help broker owners and team leaders put systems in place to make their brokers, their brokerages, and their teams a better place over at eXp Realty. If you'd like to know more about that, feel free to call, text, or email me. Contact info is down below, and I'd love to tell you all about it. Let me do a quick sound check, and then we'll get into today's video. I'd love to tell you all about it. Let me do a quick sound check is working. All right, let's get into today's video. So as a listing agent, you've found a listing. Congratulations. You've contracted a listing. Congratulate. You've successfully marketed a listing and contracted it. Congratulations. And now you've gotten through the inspection period. Okay, we're going to assume that title work's already done, financing's already done, and the inspections are now completed. Now we're talking about the repair walkthrough and the final walkthrough, the last stage before closing. As a listing agent, you need to prepare that seller and ensure that seller understands if there are any repairs, exactly what the repairs are and exactly to what extent they need to be done. A lot of times it's easier as a seller to just let the buyer have a closing cost credit or have the buyer's repair person do the job so that it is done to the buyer's standard, because two different people almost never have the same point of view. So to make your job as a listing agent better, increase the probability of closing, which we don't get paid till we close as real estate agents, letting the buyer's repairman, plumber, electrician, foundation company, etc., get the job to do the repairs removes a lot of issues that the buyer would have to argue if the repairs were not done to the correct standards. All repairs need to be done according to code, and all repairs need to be done according to whatever city regulations they're in, county regulations, aka code. But as a seller, you can sometimes offer closing cost credit or just pay the buyer's repairman's invoice at closing for those repairs to get done right before the buyer moves in. So as a listing agent, you making these suggestions to the seller to help the process get to closing is your job as a salesperson. If it's a repair that any buyer would want, or it's in a market that does, indicate that, yeah, those repairs may need to be done, then negotiate them out and ensure they're done correctly. You do not want repairs done incorrectly, because that opens up a bag of worms where the seller could be in default because they didn't do the repairs they agreed to. And that's a big deal. That would cause a lot of problems. So for the repair walkthrough, make sure the repairs are done 100% to the buyer's standard so that the buyer can accept the repairs done. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Now, it doesn't hurt to still have the house open, house ready, when that buyer and their inspector come back through to check those repairs, because you're constantly selling the home. All the way to closing, you're constantly pushing the value of the home to the consumer, aka the buyer. You're showing value. The buyer wants to be happy at closing. If the buyer's happy at closing, it is so easy for them to buy their new home. They're happy. They're excited. They want to move in. But if they show up to a repair walkthrough and it's a dirty mess, it doesn't look anything like it did during the first walkthrough or the inspections, that's going to be negative. So don't only just make sure that the repairs are done to the utmost best standard, but also make sure that house is open house ready again for the repair walkthrough. Now, if they're in the middle of moving, I get it, but get the things clean. Don't have dirty kitchen, don't have dirty bathrooms, don't have a dirty yard, don't, mow, trim, straight edge the yard. Make sure that house is as presentable as possible, especially if they're moving, for that repair walkthrough. And then same thing goes for the final walkthrough. It's a no-brainer, but I gotta point it out. Everything that is an attachment is typically included in real estate. The window blinds, the window curtains. If a TV's mounted on the wall, it's mounted on the wall. It's considered an attachment. Check your real estate textbooks. It's considered an attachment. And an attorney, I'm not an attorney, verify with an attorney. If you didn't reserve something that is bolted down to the home, it's part of the home. If you didn't reserve some sort of elaborate cattle fencing or something out by the barn, that's included. It's a fence. It's included. So make sure that the seller doesn't take anything they're not supposed to, because that could also put the seller in default. That could also cause another hiccup before closing that has to be negotiated at the table. Keep the house as perfect and as clean as possible all the way through the transaction, and do not, as a listing agent, let your sellers turn off any utilities. Do not let them turn off any utilities, cancel any insurance policies, or anything like that whatsoever. For the final walkthrough, the seller is supposed to still have all the utilities on, at least in Oklahoma. Verify with your brokerage and verify with your state real estate organization, but make sure those utilities don't get turned off. If the utilities are off and the buyer hasn't initiated utilities, they can't do a final walkthrough. And 9 times out of 10, buyers are signing papers at closing saying they completed a thorough final walkthrough. How could they have done that if there's no utilities? Okay, I hope these tips, making sure the repairs are done correctly, making sure the house is open house ready, still clean as possible all the way to closing, even on the final walkthrough, it's super clean, and making sure the utilities are on, are helpful to you. Don't let your sellers shut off utilities. Make sure the utilities are on. Make sure the house has a final clean when the sellers move out. Make sure there's a clean done before the repair walkthrough, and make sure the repairs are done correctly. In the less than 8 minutes, I have helped you become a better closer. If you found value in this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos that come out. And if you want to know more information on how to take your real estate career to that next level by joining me at eXp Realty, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.